Alright, mic testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. Mic testing 1 2 3. Good morning, folks. I am starting my first motovlog. Here I am in my basement, getting ready to hop on my steed. It's not going to be a long ride, it's just going to be a short ride inside the city. My first vlog, so kindly excuse the technical difficulties. So I'm geared up just for the city, not riding out onto the highway for today. Normally do highways. I've done around 5,800 kilometers. So I've had the bike for close to 1.5 years, more than 1.5 years in fact. So it's just some ride around the city. Not ridden for almost 2 months now, so I am just going to cruise the city, see how things are, and see how things go. Gotta take it slow today. Gonna keep it simple. I hope there's not too much of wind noise because I've moved the mic inside. So let's see, first vlog. A lot of learning. So where do we go today? Let's go to Koramangala Indiranagar, my famous, my favorite riding areas, driving areas. So I thought we'd go onto the flyover because it's gonna be kind of shady. Let's see, once I get back, on my way back maybe I'll take the flyover. And I forgot to switch on the music. Am I recording? Yes, I am. Okay. All right, we are on again. So where do we go? Yes, Koramangala Indiranagar. As I said, I'm going to stick to the underneath of the flyover because that's going to be peaceful with the sunlight, with lots of sunlight and stuff. Hopefully start this metro soon. Install this new dashboard app. Seems to be doing great. It's matching the speed. Haven't configured much in it yet, but let's see. Got an map functionality which I want to check out. So let's see. Okay, so let me tell you a bit about myself. Call me Joe, Joseph. A lot of people call me Josie. Some of you call me Tojos. So yes, I am Joe. I hail from Kerala. My passion, music. It's been riding since. The passion for riding had started out in the year 1999 when I got my first taste of riding on my cousin's bike. So ever since then I've been passionate about riding. About music, all genres. Yep, I'm actually listening to some 1980s pop right now. I love all kinds of music. I'm also a musician, a singer. I love playing music. In fact, I'm in a band. I'm in a band right now after so many years of doing solos. Okay, so play the guitar. Love to play all instruments. So you hear me listening and playing to all kinds of genres. I need to play all kinds of genres. So coming back to biking. So I had cousins and my friends in Kerala who gave me their bike to ride. I don't know, I just started out with a Kinetic Honda, to be honest, or with a Chetak. So start out with a Chetak from my cousin, and then I got a Kinetic Honda from another cousin, another friend rather. So yes, then my cousin, a cousin of mine, a dear friend of mine, Savio, taught me how to ride his Samurai, Suzuki Samurai, beautiful bike. Then had a Bullet, a 1982 model, where the gears and all swapped the other way around, gears and brake. Had that for some time, again on borrowed. Then I had a Yamaha RX 135. Quite a long time, almost a year. Again, that was borrowed not from a cousin, but from a friend in college, in Bangalore rather, I would say. So had that for some time, long time in fact, and that's where I got most of my riding courage, riding practice. Again, I'm talking about the year 2003 to 2003. Yes, 2003. So I had that bike for almost a year in college, in my final year rather. Used the heck out of it, and it was a beauty. I rode that for quite some time. And then I also had the opportunity to ride a Shogun, a Suzuki Shogun, again on borrowed terms from a friend of mine. Only the borrowed, but beautiful bikes. Then I finished college, went to Delhi, moved back to Bangalore. And then I did something utterly stupid. No offense to the owners of this particular bike called Platina, but I bought a Platina. I don't know why I bought a Platina. A dear friend of mine convinced me to buy a Platina because he was using it. But then, coming from a family of these amazing bikes, riding these amazing bikes, I don't know why, but I never enjoyed that bike, to be honest. I had it for 3 months. I think the bike did about 800 kilometers, out of which I did 300, and my friend did 500. And finally, I sold it back to the showroom itself. Sold it at that point of time, $3,000 loss. And then yeah, what to do? Sold it off to the showroom itself. And I was without a bike till 2022. I forgot how to ride, or rather, didn't forget. I lost practice completely of how to ride. I had to really start back from scratch. You know, somebody offered me a Triumph Bonneville to try it out, a dear friend from office. I was hesitant like crazy. So I didn't even bother riding that bike. Didn't even want to try rather. But yes. Then, how did I get back? How am I riding a bike today? Well, I started watching vlogs of a dear vlogger who I admire a lot, Krapanaman, and his personal vlogs about riding on his Harley to eat. Oh yes, I forgot to tell you, I am a foodie, and seeing him riding around on a bike, going to places, being able to eat lovely food, making those lovely videos. So I saw Kripalaman riding, going to places, eating food, and after seeing about 10 videos, I just turned and told my wife, I wish I could do that. Ride to places and eat. And then she said, why not? What's stopping you? And there started my journey. So the next process was which bike? And started doing a selection of slew of bikes. I mean, I'd lost touch with bikes, so I didn't even know what the prices were. Literally didn't know what the prices were. And then did some research. I didn't even know a section of bikes called ADV existed. I just thought they were Harleys and cruisers and stuff. So I just went to the Harley showroom. I mean, I wanted something to start off with basic, not too basic, but then something that I could start off with after years of not riding. So okay, what do we go with? And then went to the Harley showroom. The Iron 883 was the cheapest in their lineup. And I'm talking about the year 2002. The X440 was not even out. So I didn't test ride anything because I still wasn't familiar. In fact, I started taking bikes on rent to just get familiar with bikes. They were not in the best of condition, to be honest. So I took bikes on rent, and then I also visited the BMW showroom right next to the Harley showroom. Somewhere near UB City. Weird response over there. Nobody was even bothered. But anyways, showroom stories for a different day. Then what else did I do? My green, red, what am I? And then when I got the price list from there, at least somebody told me, okay, this is costing this many lakhs. And then I didn't see cruisers of my liking. Whoa. So I went to the Honda Big Wing showroom there itself. So then after that, Honda was pretty good. They had the Honda Highness. So when I checked out the Honda Highness, nice bike, but then for some reason the reviews were off the charts in terms of, rust issues, quality issues, quite a few things. So I was like, I don't want to get my first bike and start looking at issues on it. So I said, okay, then what do we get then? I mean, there was nothing else in the Honda lineup that could suit me. Again, bear in mind, this is 2022, where there's not too many 400cc bikes. The segment just blew open in 2023 and 2024. So, not too many options at that point. Okay, so coming back to my story. Rode the Highness. I was shit scared on that day. But then, I went to Triumph also. I mean, everything is in walking distance, and I just walked all over the place. I took a bike on rent. I parked it all. I took my car. Sorry. So after that, there was a guy at Triumph. I mean, he knew I was, still not used to stuff. So he sat down and explained everything. If I remember, his name was Neil. Nice chap. This Triumph next to UB City. Went there, saw the beautiful Bonneville bike. I saw the Tiger. And I was like, asked him, tell me about this. What's this? I'm seeing a lot of these bikes coming up now these days. So this is something new called the Adventure Series. It's called the Adventure Bikes, ADVs. So he told me the story about how the ADVs came up and why was it needed and stuff. I felt it a good fit. I mean, am I gonna make it? Nah, just take it easy. Okay. So saw the price list again. It was way out of my budget. I wanted something, like I said, I wanted something basic. Again, the Triumph, the Speed 400, Scrambler 400 were not even there in the market. So didn't have those options at that point of time. So I said, okay, got all the prices and came back home. Now, what the heck? I never looked at a KTM. Lovely bike, but then I'm being honest with you, when I put KTM on YouTube, they're not the type of videos that you want to see. I mean, I don't want to go there, but a whole different set of riders. They're good riders. I don't want to diss off owners of KTM because I myself have one right now. I'll get to that. But a set of videos that, I'm not going to be doing stuff like that on the road, But then there were some really good riders on the road, I should admit. But unfortunately, the YouTube algorithm, I don't know why it does this stupid thing of finding something weird for me, and I'm not really that type of thing. Anyways, let's not go there. But I did not realize there was KTM had an adventure bike. So a dear friend of mine, Anand, in my apartment, he told me that there's something called a KTM Adventure. Check it out. So I went, googled a bit again, did some research, found out, oh yeah, there is a adventure bike. I went to the showroom close by, had a look. I mean, didn't have a look. There were no bikes on display because, bear in mind, this is the time where COVID waves are finishing off and there's a short supply of parts. So very difficult to get bikes. But imagine waiting periods of 3 or 4 months and stuff. So went over to the KTM showroom. I went to a whole load of KTM showrooms that day. I went to a whole bunch of KTM showrooms. I started out my journey from home in Electronic City. Went all the way to Maratali. Made for calls and finally went to Maratali. Got a test ride over there. I mean, got a feel of the bike. You're getting into a new segment, so you really need to know, what are you doing? Where are you headed? Went, sat on the bike. There was a lovely chap there called Vishnu. Name was Vishnu. He said, take the bike and go for a ride. I was like, I've not ridden for a very long time. That's okay, you get the feel of it. The bike was tall. The bike is tall. I'm sitting on one right now. The bike was tall. So, sat on the bike. My wife had come along, so she waited. She must have been praying. God, let him not fall. So, took it for a ride. It felt nice. I mean, potholes and all were a thing of the past. So, I really enjoyed riding the bike that day. So, came back home, thought about it, did some math. I said, this bike is good. About a week later, we went and booked the bike from Maratali, because every place I called up, they were saying 3 months, 4 months. Maratali did not say anything lesser, but some are not even willing to take bookings, to be honest. So, with the guarantee that you may get the bike anytime soon. So yes, got the bike. Booked the bike. Waited for 3 months. Yes, 3 months. Excruciating wait. So, waited for 3 months. Finally, after 3 months, Vishnu called me up. I was going and asking for updates. I'm very impatient. So, going and asking for updates from Vishnu. And then he told me that, yeah, the bike's come. You can come. Take it and go. I said, I want a blue. So he's like, I can't guarantee when you get a blue again. So just take what you have and go. So, got the gray and black combo. So took it. Did all the did all the financials, did all the paperwork, and finally, at the end of July, I got this beauty. Boy, the ride to the showroom was a whole different story. So yeah, so bear in mind, I've not ridden an adventure bike. I've been renting Pulsars left, right, center to practice so that I could get back. On the day of getting the bike, I booked an Activa. My wife is an excellent rider. She took me to the showroom on the bike, and in fact we both rode back. Ride was not great. We finished our this was in July, August, so ride was long because it was hot, and plus we were taking it very slow. So my poor wife, being an expert rider, she very patiently waited for me. I was very slow. I was just riding at about 30-40. Yeah, the speed that you're seeing right now. So 30-40. Maratali to Electronic City was in almost took us in reality almost a day. So Took a day, took a few hours. Came back. Oh, we crashed. Literally tired, worn out. So, came back home. In the middle, had a juice, had some lunch, everything. Came back home, relaxed. Did all the needful in terms of my apartment work to get the stickering and stuff. And then, now starts the story of, you got a bike, accessorize it. I didn't go with any crazy accessories. You can see down I have a guard, a crash guard here. I wanted the phone mount because yes, my source of Google Maps. Then a top box with from GV. A few weeks I realized I wanted a windscreen guard also, and that point of time everything was out of stock except for this GV thing. Carbon Racing was not having it. A lot of people not having stuff. Again, supply chain constraints. So had issues getting it. So finally got everything. Took it to a place called Gear and Gear. Pretty weird in terms of their payment structure and stuff, but anyways, I won't get into that. Paid an exorbitant amount to get these things fixed, though what was quoted was different, entirely different. So, got all the work done. Finally brought the bike back. And yes, the next thing was just taking it out for rides. And bear in mind, my bike is geared up. I don't have any gear on me. I had not purchased a single piece of gear except for gloves. So I had to get that also done. So one fine day went to HSR. A lot of places in HSR. Got myself a jacket, got myself a pair of riding shoes, my pants, whatever was needed, got everything. And there I was. So yes, welcome to my world of riding. 20 years after riding in college, I'm not going to call it midlife crisis or anything. It's just you do what you want to do. You have one life, just live it. Do whatever you can to make the best out of it.